So this iPhone caught me off guard. The iPhone 17 Pro, I actually almost switched from my iPhone 17 Pro Max back to this one, and I may eventually do it as well. And here's So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. And let me talk to you about why I didn't expect to like this phone this much. First of all, when I came from the 16 Pro, I thought the 16 Pro was going to be replaced just to this one, but I eventually did go to the Max, mostly because the Cosmic Orange. You could get this one in Cosmic Orange as well, but I decided to go to the Max mostly because the battery really impressed me. But coming from this phone and this phone, there's actually quite a few upgrades that you do get with the iPhone 17 Pro. But one of the reasons I really enjoyed this phone is because the battery and thermals for the size. So my 16 Pro, actually towards the time the 17 Pro was starting to come out, it was actually getting a little bit warm under heavy use. I would never say to the level of uncomfortable, but it definitely was getting a bit warm, my iPhone 16 Pro. Especially when I was pushing it, especially up in this area, I could feel it a bit. I'm not going to say it was 15 Pro level, nowhere near uncomfortable, anything like that. And to this day, I still feel like the titanium feels very beautiful in the hand. The thermals have been impressive on this one. And for that reason, being this smaller, more comfortable size while still retaining heat very well, makes you wonder, do you really need the larger size iPhone 17 Pro Max? So I didn't make the switch yet, but I still got caught off guard because I was like, I thought, that heat dissipation is mostly going to work more on a Max. But the truth is this one does a really good job with it as well. I can barely feel any of the heat. The next one is the size factor. I didn't realize I missed it so much until I come back to review this product right here. The actual size of this does still feel like about the perfect size, a 6.3 inch panel. And of course, if you want to save some money, you could simply just go over to the base 17, which I've been calling the best phone for most people for a couple of months now. But this size still feels like the perfect size where you don't have to make sacrifices or compromises because you still have the triple 48 megapixel camera in the rear. You still get yourself camera control. You still get yourself on the front. You still get yourself that ultra wide camera. You know the drill. You still get yourself amazing battery life, and you now get yourself really good thermals. Not a fan of that. Honestly, I'm too picky with my details for something like that. So I've knocked that on both the Max and this phone. Luckily, though, I'm not going like this too much, looking at the phone from the top view too regularly. So it's not the end of the world, but still, it's an eyesore to me. So the next one is the display surprises me. Surprises me why? Because I didn't expect it to get brighter, but it actually does get brighter than the iPhone 16 Pro of last year. And because it actually has the same exact brightness as the Max, if I wanted to switch to the iPhone 17 Pro ever in the future, which I might do if the Max becomes cumbersome or it breaks or something, the 17 Pro definitely has the same level of 3000 nits that can easily be triggered and seen outdoors. And I don't care if it's super sunny outside, you're going to see this phone with extraordinary ease. Also, you still get kind of the same sharpness on this panel, and it also does have the same PWM setting. If you go to settings, scroll down here to accessibility and go to display and text size. And if I scroll down here, the display pulse smoothing factor is also available here. So you get the comfortable size, and now you're probably going to get the comfortable lighting as well on the eye. So it's not going to have that flickering stuff as much as what you'll find on previous iPhones while still having a comfy size in the hand. So this is a really important factor to me of the base 17 Pro, is that it gives you this really nice size, this comfortable PWM setting, bright outside, but gets super dim just like the Max. And honestly, it's I didn't expect to like this phone as much because it did get thicker and heavier, but if you really look at its specs and the core functionality of the product, it tends to actually feel pretty amazing day to day. And shout outs to the people who like the silver for being classic. I'm one of them. It definitely has this very classic look. And I got a comment, I think it was the other day. Someone said, look, bro, that cosmic orange is not aging well. I'm already bored of it. Those comments make me think, I was actually thinking, the cosmic orange, because it's like a fall color look. To me, it looks like a fall color. It looks like Thanksgiving and pumpkin season. I feel like after that season is ending, which we're going into winter soon, the silver is definitely gonna look better with the snow and all that. Yeah, I like to match things with the seasons. Let me know if you agree with that. But I agree with the fact that the silver is gonna age a bit better. I mean, if you look at the silver Macs, the silver iPads, silver Apple products, it's just kind of classic Apple right there. So that's something as well. The performance reality of this phone is that it's very fast. I don't care what you're doing on the day to day. This thing flies. The thing is that some phones on other makers do have faster animations, maybe a bit more RAM, 16 gigabytes, but this is a powerhouse beast in your pocket, looking at 4.26 gigahertz clock speed. But we can talk specs and geek out all day. The bottom line is that its benchmarks are not the highest in the world, but they will get the job done. That's actually not the benchmarks for this phone, by the way. That's an older one from a previous phone, but they definitely do get faster benchmarks than some MacBooks used to bench back in the day. So the truth is that it feels identical to the Pro Max in day-to-day use. And why that's important is because I do like having a phone that I feel like I can do everything in, cozy up in, when I'm, chilling at night and trying to schedule my next day in bed. You know the drill. You're cozied up, and you could do this. You see how my thumbs are close, and just get all cozy and kind of just type out the calendar for the next day, whatever you're doing, your to-do list, your checklist. Who knows? Maybe you just write a note in Apple Notes, bubbles, little circle bubbles, and then you just put the little text of what you got to get done. I like that. I just like the small size, the typing, the one hand swiping on here. It just, that rhyme too. The swiping, the one hand typing, the swiping, I guess. Let's stop with that. Let's go on to the next thing I wanted to say. The heat and efficiency in real world use. So I expected this because it was smaller to not dissipate heat as well. But let me tell you, I don't run into heat issues whatsoever. The only time I felt any heat on this phone, and the same went for the Max, was when this device came out and I plugged it in for the first time, transferred everything from the 16 Pro. It was like loading up tons of files. Software update was like right out of the box. This thing got a little bit warm, but not even close to what I felt on some previous iPhones. So their thermal system that they put in here is definitely helping quite a bit. Also, I kind of like the two-tone look on this silver one, probably the most. Mostly because the white definitely contrasts the silver here a lot. And the edges do kind of remind me of back in the day with the iPhone 7 and silver. You remember those days? I love that look of that phone. And this kind of reminds me of it here with the silver 17 Pro. The next one I wanted to talk about is the battery life. It's better than I thought. And I still would need to use low power mode on this phone if I'm going heavy, because it's still not Pro Max level. But so with this one, I would still have to use low power mode during the day if I'm going to be pushing it really hard, because it's not Pro Max level, but it's not really, it's kind of like as good as a Max phone that was an older Max phone. So some of the older Max phones, I'm talking like 12 Pro Max, for example, this has better battery life than that phone. And this is a smaller device. So you're getting near max level battery, just not the current max level battery in a smaller size. The battery is not a letdown, and if you fully charge it, I think most people are making it a whole day, even with the smaller 17 Pro. I always was impressed with the battery life I got on the 16 Pro as well, and it only got better here on the 17 Pro. So this is why I didn't expect to like it that much. I thought the Max was just going to be way better, and while it is, it's not like night and day. Like you can't get through a day with the 17 Pro. You sure can. So for that reason, if I get tired of my bulky 17 Pro Max, my larger 17 Pro Max, I will come to this one probably one day and make it my main phone. We'll see. I almost switched from the 17 Pro Max. I'm serious. So the next one is the camera. Now, I've been ranting and raving, high flying, rolling and rolling. You know what I'm saying? Going on and on, praising and praising the cameras for the 17 Pro series. The reason why is if you got to look at the overall picture here, all lenses are 48 megapixels. So what they do is they emulate more of what the iconic 13 Pro series was doing. Triple 12 back then was doing the same thing, the consistency. And most people loved the 13 series when it comes to the cameras. This is no different, but this also has that iPhone. What was it? Was it the 11? I'm not sure which one it was. They went up, they improved the front facing camera. Whenever they did that, I think it was the 11. I could be wrong though. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the camera now on the front with that center stage and the 18 megapixel resolution, it's a beast, man. It's like the portable pocket powerhouse for social media, video recording, anything you want to do. I just love this. It's just amazing. So the next one is the living with this factor. So living with this was great. Coming over to this has been a powerhouse, but there is some sacrifices with the size. I was raving about in the past video. It doesn't really, the size is still, I'm still going to pick it for the battery, the max, but honestly, daily carry, putting this in pockets, driving, if you go to the gym with your phone, this is probably the better phone as well. Bed use, comfort, the advantages are all there. This is a comfort factor. Slipping this into a car cubby. Some cars don't have big enough spaces to hold big phones, unless you have a big 3-row SUV or minivan or something. Like, not every car has a big enough space to hold those massive phones. The 17 Pro, the living with it factor, what I'm trying to get is it slips in and out of places very, very easily compared to the 17 Pro Max. The one thing that makes me miss the Max though is always going to be the screen space and size when I'm on this one. That's the only thing about it. And I know I say it's an advantage too because it is portable, but when you're doing everything on your phone, I do tend to miss that 6.9 sometimes. And of course, a little bit of the battery. That's just the truth and why I haven't actually made this my phone right now. But the truth is that I almost did it because it does have almost everything for me as well. The price though is one of the cons too. For those of you looking for a value, the 17 Pro doesn't come in the lower storage tier this year, so it tends to be not as good of a value. The truth is here though is that this is perfect for travelers, people who travel a lot. You're going to love this thing. This is the one. Busy professionals, people who are not on their phone a lot, very busy, but still need when they pull it out to get the job done. This is the phone for you, for sure, because it's going to carry well when you're busy on the road doing your professional stuff, and it's going to slip in and out of places very easily, and that's great. Also, minimalists. The silver, it's just classic. It's small, it stays out of the way, goes in the desk setup very well. If you're a minimalist, you'll love this. Smaller phone lovers will love this as well. I say smaller because it's still not a small phone, but it's smaller. It's just not mini. Imagine if they made this design in a mini. Wouldn't that be something? So the final verdict is this phone is basically changed my perspective on what is capable of a smaller flagship. They have some competitors out there. S25 is pretty close, but it doesn't have good cameras. Pixel 10 Pro, the smaller version, pretty similar in size, but this one, it just does something different. It gives you the powerhouse of the Max in the hand. I feel like not a lot of phones in the smaller size give you the whole powerhouse package. This one is basically that in a smaller size. So I'm thinking of like the S25 Ultra. If they made the S25 Ultra in the smaller size, that would kind of be matching this a little bit better. But the S25 is kind of close, but not exactly. This one is essentially the same exact thing as the Max. So I didn't expect to like it this much. At first, I wasn't loving the thicker feel over the 16 Pro, but I'm changing my mind now because I'm starting to like the consistency of the cameras, and I'm starting to love the aluminum feel with the smooth edges along with a long battery life and especially the thermals. I'm actually one of those people who really does not like phones that get hot. It's super annoying because you use your phone for heavier use, whether it's multitasking, split screen, YouTube content, even some regular YouTube content watching. Some phones can get hot. Seriously, just some basic task switching. So yeah, that's my take on the 17 Pro. After having this for a little bit of while, I just didn't expect this out of this phone. So it's pretty good. There are some cons, so stay tuned. I will be doing continuing coverage on this as more updates come out. I'll give you some longer term reviews on it as well later. But I don't think you go wrong. If you found yourself resonating with most of the points I said in this video, this is probably going to be the one for you. If you want to know more about to choose this or the Max, I'll leave a link to my comparison between those two down below in the comments. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.